My fellow intellectuals and bookworms, it's time for a long scheduled book review, or long overdue. Bernie Sanders, A Political Guide to Revolution. Basically, it's a very short book, but it encapsulates all of Bernie Sanders' ideas and how he wants to implement them. And I think it's great for people who are on the fence, like they don't know whether they want to support Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders. On the one hand, if Joe Biden wins, it'll be a great debate, and I'll love watching it because it'll get totally destroyed. The other hand, we're sentencing this country to essentially burn for 4 more years while problems get ignored and things get worse. With Sanders, there's at least, yes, his ideas are lofty and may never get passed, but he at least cares about people and will try. And the media seems to count him out, but ignore every bad thing Joe Biden does, like how he's been gone for a week in the midst of a goddamn pandemic. Now, normally, I would make a separate video of things the media hasn't picked up on yet, but I figured I'd just rant it here, because I'm already going to recommend you buy it. 5 out of 5 stars, definitely worth getting. So now people seem to think, oh, Joe Biden is going to be the nominee. Well, he has a few hundred delegate lead, but there are some problems with that. One, even though he's now ahead 50 to 36, the lead keeps narrowing, and Biden's been gone for a week and a half, so much so that Foreign Policy magazine asked Americans, is Joe Biden still alive? And 80% of them are like, no, he's probably dead. No one's seen him for a week in the midst of a crisis, and they released a speech which seems goddamn pre-recorded, because you can tell because the lights are screwed up and it seemed to be green screened, and in it he's doing this, and then he's repeating himself multiple times, and he's sweating in the thing, and he's visibly red, all signs of coronavirus, which leads me to believe that he's horribly sick and quite possibly in the hospital. Again, I may have mentioned it to you guys that the former White House physician to the vice president confirmed that he was in the hospital horribly ill. The media is starting to ask questions, although, in all honesty, if it was Bernie Sanders, we all know that CNN would be like, where is Sanders? But in this case, hashtag hiding Biden is starting to come out. But second of all, he technically lost in Arizona, Florida, and Illinois. The only problem, a lot of polling places were goddamn closed because of the virus. So you could legally challenge that. In addition, Biden isn't getting any more cash. He's failing to rack up the money. In comparison, Sanders held a fireside chat the other day, got $2 million. He has more cash on hand left. 18 million versus 10 million. So Biden's essentially driving a car without gas. And yes, he's steaming ahead. He's essentially coasting ahead. But it shows a lot when you can basically accuse Joe Biden of being the laziest presidential candidate ever. Now, granted, Sanders, if he got the corona, most people assume he would die, but he's not in poor health. He survived. He showed strength by literally, despite needing to get a stent placed in his heart because that's standard procedure for old people, he was only out of the thing for like an hour, and then he only canceled one campaign stop and then immediately scheduled more. He's perfectly healthy. He's not going to die. But, I mean, Joe Biden's health has never been good in good times. You can see him, decay from the dementia. But he's horribly ill now, and in all honesty, if I was the campaign staff, I would want to hide that shit, because it's just a sign of weakness to be ill, and as a politician, you're supposed to never show weakness. So, at this point, the best chance, it's 1,100 Biden to 900 Sanders, 200-point lead and narrowing. But here's the thing, it was very close in Florida, it was very close in Arizona, hell, it was close in Louisiana, in Illinois. All of those are states in which, well, there's 200 each. If they split very evenly and Sanders picks up 100 of those, you've gone a pretty good way to denying him the nomination. At a brokered convention, that would lead to a brokered convention, and a lot of places are pushing their primaries ahead because of the virus. That might mean there's more pickup opportunities. In addition, Sanders' point about if we had universal health care, we wouldn't be in this mess, and if we provide paid sick leave like any other countries, are starting to resonate. Like, how do you expect people to pay home if their jobs rely on it? And yes, Democrats did vote against the recovery bill, but in all honesty, they didn't have any choice. Yes, I want the recovery bill as much as the next guy. But bailing out corporations without putting any restrictions on what they can use the money with is irresponsible as fuck. It's the type of situation why so many people are angry at the financial industry. We bailed their asses out, and what did they do? Instead of saving foreclosed homeowners, they paid themselves bonuses out of our money. So, the bailout will probably happen, but it's probably going to have to be reworded. In addition, they polled Republican voters, and only 5% of them would actually vote for Joe Biden, whereas 20% of Republicans would actually consider voting for Bernie Sanders. It's not over. In addition, he took a primary that I put was a toss-up, Democrats abroad, which should lean conservative. He flipped it, which again, it's only 10 delegates, but it's a nowhere easy win. And in all honesty, Joe Biden, articles like Joe Biden, it's his nomination to win or to lose are not exactly true. Again, there's a lot of evidence that he may be horribly ill right now, and it could kill him. In addition, with Trump and Pence, both of them are possibly infected with corona. If they both died at the same time, the presidency would pass to Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, a Democrat, which in all honesty, I almost want to see. I mean, I hate Nancy Pelosi, but they would just freak out. They would be so pissed, and it would be very worth seeing. In an alternate universe, there is this universe in which, if multiverse theory is correct, there is a universe in which that's true. So, yeah. In addition, CNN keeps repeating that China has put new cases down to 0. Well, China's lying about it. A doctor in Hunan province said that the Chinese government is covering up mass graves in Hunan with PLA soldiers taking care of it. He subsequently disappeared, which for those of you not in the know means he was Ministry of State Security, MSS, got him and executed him. 3 independent American journalists who were in there went to hospitals and tried to ask about the true number of deaths and cases. They were kicked out of the country. So CNN should stop repeating what's essentially a lie, that China's contained all its cases. I mean, so like, comment, and subscribe if you've not done so. This is Sean Hartnett wishing you a good day. Hope you're healthy and safe. And if you did not like my rant in the middle, the reason why I gave you the rant is because I felt like this video would be too short without it. I'll probably have another book review out, and possibly something like things to do in the pandemic, since everyone's been trapped inside for a long length of time and people are getting bored. So I'm going to call it something like survivalism, how to fight boredom in the pandemic, or some shit like that. And then I might have a political rant for you. So that's just an update on what I'm going to do in the future. All right, bye.